So now this whole next round, round 27, is done in the back loops only. And the first stitch to find here, this one will be a slip stitch. And what that does is it just reduces the step look that you get when you change color in crochet. So this will just bring things a little closer together. So just make a slip stitch there. And the round was for single crochet 36. So we've done one of those 36 is a slip stitch. So now the other 35 will be normal single crochets, but they'll all be in these back loops for the whole round. And the last stitch of round 27 in the back loop only as well. So the whole round was done into the back loops only. Now round 28 and round 29 are both single crochet 36. So just go under this slip stitch, that first stitch that you made. And now that you've completed this slip stitch, you can feel comfortable to go and tie your ends in. So I'll just show you how when you pull tight on that end, how it just brings things together and you don't get such a big step in your color change. So it's up to you if you want to do this into the back loops only. You can just do this round as a single crochet 36 around and ignore the back loops. It just depends on your own personal preference. So now just continue round 28 and 29 to single crochet 36 around. And now just reaching the end of round 29. Now round 30 is where we will be making our armholes. So the first part of that is to single crochet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we're going to skip 8 stitches. So we're just going to count these little V's at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And the 9th stitch, which I usually just pinch, then just take your hook in front of your work like this and insert from the front. So you're just putting it under that 9th stitch, yarn over and pull through. Now just push that little armhole out to the outside and then just squeeze your work together while you pull on your thread, and you'll see that there's no gap there. Then just yarn over and pull through. Now that will count as a stitch because there's single crochet 10 across the front. So that's the first one, 9 and the 10th single crochet. Now we're going to skip another 8 stitches. So we'll just be counting these little V's again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And then just pinch that 9th stitch and just take your hook in front of your work and insert into that 9th stitch, yarn over and pull through, and just push that little armhole out to the side. Then just pull your work nice and tight. There we go, nice and tight so that they're joined. Then yarn over and pull through both those loops, and that will count as a stitch because there's now single crochet 5 to finish off that round. So that's 1, 2, and the 5th stitch landing on the marker. Round 31 is to just single crochet 20 around. Now do be careful that you don't miss the stitch that goes under the armhole. So that's 2. I'll just do that stitch with you. 3, 4 and 5. Now the sixth stitch is just down under the armhole down here. So you can see, whoops, you can see here that there's one stitch in there. So you just go under the V, and that will be your sixth single crochet. And you just do the same for the other armhole. Make sure you don't miss that stitch. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and now the 16th stitch will be just in here under this armhole. So we go in there and do our 16th stitch, and then just continue to finish with your single crochets. And the last stitch of round 31, which is our 20th single crochet. So we've now created the little armholes, and there's 8 stitches there where we will be joining in to make the little arms, and her little torso has been made here now. So we'll just continue to single crochet around. Now we will be reducing her back a little, and this will just like create a little bit of shape in the doll instead of just being straight down. So now for round 32, we are going to decrease 1 and single crochet 18. So we'll just continue to do those invisible decreases like we did on the head. So decrease 1 and then single crochet 18 around. Now do be careful that you don't go back into this stitch here, because this belongs to the decrease, and sometimes it's quite easy to go back into that little space because it looks like there's a gap. So be sure to go into the right space, and the first V available is this one here, because this other one here next to it is taken with the decrease. So now you just want to single crochet 18, and the 18th stitch should be landing on your marker. And the 18th single crochet, which completes round 32. Now round 33 is just to single crochet 19 around. 1, and the 19th single crochet brings us to the end of round 33. Now round 34 we'll be doing another decrease, so it's decrease 1 and single crochet 17. So your invisible decrease again, decrease 1 and then single crochet 17. And the end of round 34 with our 17th single crochet landing on the marker. Now for round 35 we are going to be single crocheting 18. And the 18th stitch of round 35 landing on the marker. So for round 36, this is where we will be doing a couple of little increases to create the shape of her bottom. And the round is to single crochet 1, increase 1, single crochet 14, increase 1, and then single crochet 1. Now on that very last single crochet, we won't be finishing that stitch because we'll be changing color on the last loop. So I'll meet you back at that very last stitch of that round, and we'll do the color change together. So that's a single crochet 1 and an increase, and now just single crochet 14. That's the 14th single crochet. So now we just do our increase, and then we'll be changing color on the very last single crochet. So we'll just do this increase. And then for the last stitch, you're just going to be going in and pulling up a loop. So we'll just go into that very last stitch on the marker, pull up a loop, and just leave those 2 loops on your hook like that. And just take your fresh color, I'll be using some blue, and then just pull that through those 2 loops, and then you're ready for round 37. So round 37 is a back loops only round, because as you can see I do always do the back loops only when I change color. So you can just hold your ends there nice and secure until you've gone past this next slip stitch that we're going to do, and that way it'll just make it easier to get back in when you come past. So we've joined on here, and the very next stitch is a slip stitch into the back loop only. So just take your back thread, pull it through like that for a slip stitch, and now the next step will be to increase 1. Then it will be single crochet 1 and increase 1. So that's like repeating the same step again. So we'll just do single crochet 1, increase 1, and then continue in the back loops only. Well, that first single crochet 1 was a slip stitch, so we'll just go back in now and just do our single crochet 1 and increase 1. And then you'll be doing single crochet 12 across the front of the body, all in the back loops only, and then finishing off with the increase 1 and single crochet 1. So there's our slip stitch, then our increase, then our single crochet, then our increase. Now it will be single crochet 12 and our 12th single crochet into the back loops. Now we'll be doing increase and a single crochet 1 times by 2. So we'll just do an increase, single crochet 1, and then an increase, and our final single crochet 1 landing on the marker. And that brings us to the end of round 37. So now once you've gone past this little slip stitch here that you've done, it's a very tight one. If you just stretch your work, you can see that there's that slip stitch, and then that's your first single crochet. So once you've gone past this little slip stitch, then you can feel comfortable enough to tie up these ends. So round 38 to 41 will be to single crochet 24 around. So they're nice easy stitches, and I've just gone into that slip stitch there, and so now would be a good time to tie up these ends and secure everything. And the last single crochet of round 41. So that gives us our 4 rounds of single crochet 24. The next part will be to do the legs. So before we do the legs, it's important to add the stuffing. So if you haven't been stuffing as you go, then now is a good time, because once you do join up for the legs, it does get a little harder to stuff. So this hole is wide enough to just push through. But I will use my stuffing stick because it's hard to get it up to the top here. So I'll just push that through to the top. Just getting up into that little chest area up there and filling it in nice and tight, and there's room for plenty more stuffing now. So we'll just put that in. Here we go. So as before, I don't do the stuffing to the bottom because the stuffing does get caught up in the stitches. So once I have joined the legs, I will add a little more stuffing to create the little bottom. So the stuffing is in, and now we will be making the legs. So since there's 24 stitches around, we will be skipping 12 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And this is the 13th stitch here, so I just give that a little pinch. Just bring your hook in front. Just take your work across like this and put it into that 13th stitch there like that. Pull nice and tight, and then just yarn over and pull through. And now you've got those joined nice and tight, and then yarn over and pull through. So now that will count as the first stitch of the first round of the left leg.